Welcome back, guys, and thank you guys so much for your patience. I finally had a chance to put an episode together for you guys, all 260,000 of you guys that came out of nowhere. I never expected it, and I don't think it's ever gonna feel normal to me. Thank you guys so much. And as always, for those of you guys that are new or just stopping by, let's get you guys caught up. So basically the build is a 1994 Honda Accord that I really want to focus completely on the engine and ignore the outside, sometimes even making it ugly on purpose. The engine we're using is the Underdog F22B1, which is the one that actually came in this car, so technically it's not swapped for an upgrade. We just use the Accord engines and slap a turbocharger on them. On this episode, I finally get a chance to try my luck against the Supra. I get a couple friendly pulls in with some really clean cars, and then finally I make sure I never run hot ever again by making some shrouds for my radiator. And once again, I hope you guys enjoy. Let's start it off with this clean wide-body 392. Unfortunately, the first pull wasn't caught on video, but you can definitely tell what happened by his reaction. And as we're exchanging thumbs up, he tries to sneak in a little launch on camera. Unfortunately for him, I was prepared for it and I also launched. He was still a cool dude about it. And these guys that were behind us just saw what happened. These dudes in the Subaru got a kick out of my grandma car making blow-off noises. Here's some friendly fire against the Honda Prelude. This is actually the car I wanted before I ended up with the Accord. I gave him the jump, so I agreed to only go after I heard his engine taking off. Some more Honda friendly fire against an RSX. The Supra did a quick little pull without a countdown, but I tried to stay with him. This next one is an actual clean countdown into a start. And on the main highway to Sinaloa, we just happened to run into another Supra that was down to do a pull. You could just barely hear him honk it off. Quick little run against a 5.0. He let off pretty quick, so my turbo couldn't really party, but it was still a good run. And I think these guys recognize us from TikTok. Although that run looked really good for me, it turns out he had a bad start. The Supra is tuned and it's definitely faster than normal. This next one's an actual clean start and I'm struggling to keep up with him and he's pulling away by the time I decide to let off. He was actually cool enough to give us a third run. I was doing my best to stay with him until I decided to let off because I don't like to go mock Jesus. Now back to the build. Before we move forward with the build, I want you guys to listen to this so you can see why I'm redoing my radiator setup. Alright, so right now it's on a cold start. I just want you guys to see how loud this fan is. As you can see, the current fan is louder than the engine and the exhaust combined. Instead of having one oversized loud fan blowing brute force, I'm actually going to get two smaller, quieter fans that, along with the shroud, will flow more efficiently and hopefully cool a lot more. When I first started working on cars, I just could not wrap my head around how covering a piece of the radiator would improve cooling. But hopefully this diagram can help you guys visualize the theory behind fan shrouds. So here on the left side is my current setup, which is just the radiator butted up against the fan. But as it turns out, if you don't have a shroud, there's a lot of dead space where there's nothing really pulling air through it, and not even natural airflow could get in there when it's behind a front bumper and an intercooler. Shroud creates a big air pocket able to cover the entire radiator in which air gets pulled through. Let's make one. This one, extremely loud, very fast. Compared to the quieter slim fan. This fan will blow into it, and this fan is going to be on this side pulling air. So they're going to kind of work together. Thinking about it, it does sound like overkill, but if you're on boost, you know how hot things can get out of nowhere, or on a hot day, it adds up really fast. Dang, this unit is beautiful. Metal. And I did go with the curved blade design this time because it is designed to be a lot quieter, while still kind of flowing the same amount as the straight fins. So I am going to make the back shroud first, you know, the one that's hidden under the bumper. That way by the time I get to the part of the engine bay that is visible, I have a little bit more experience and I learned from my mistakes to make it a little bit cleaner. So I think I'm going to do a pretty simple design. Cover this part like that, cut a hole in there. And then I do have to account for the little lip that's going to bend around. After doing the math, it's 15 and a half and an eighth. Golly. So unfortunately, this is where I run out of tools. I don't actually have anything to bend the lips over on the aluminum, but with a little bit of inspiration from the metal school online, it's definitely doable. And I do already have a shop press, so I'm halfway there. Let's do it. First things first, let's cut out a base and make sure it fits inside of the press. Next, I'm cleaning up the steel bar to cut it into the shape of the blade. I was actually surprised how straight I could get it considering I was grinding it by hand. Now I just have to make the lower die for this blade to press into. And instead of just using the inside of an angle iron, I'm actually going to use 2 pieces so that I can make the lower die a little bit sharper than 90 degrees, just in case there's any spring back, or if I need to make a little bit of a sharper bend. Alright, so last night I had to let it cool down by spraying it down with water. Take care of that later, but for right now it's pretty functional. And now we can continue on the radiator shroud. It's working! No way! It's working! Oh, that worked. That's actually really cool. Hey, YouTube, chill out. Why you get so excited? Relax. Oh yeah, I am more than happy with that. I am happy with that one. Worth it. Now I'm just gonna do it to the other side. Now I just have to cut this. We're good, we're chilling. The fins themselves are 12 inches, so that's the part that really matters. So I don't have a compass. I'm gonna go ahead and just make one out of zip ties. All right, there, found the center. Warrior brand. It seemed like I was struggling, so I'm gonna give Diablo a chance. This one's actually bi-metal, so it's an upgrade from this for sure. This is meant for thick metal, and this is aluminum, so it's soft, thick metal. All right, let's do it. Yeah, these cut really good. Oh. Alright, this one feels a lot better. So, zip ties work. Could use a little bit of opening up. Alright, so now that the back one's done, I went ahead and made the front side literally the same thing. They're borderline interchangeable. I did go a lot slower with the cut, so this one's a lot more round. But I did try to be more careful about the 90 degrees and, you know, straight cuts. I ended up accidentally cracking the edge by trying to bend it just a little bit further by hand instead of putting it back in the press. So I'm going to try to fix that. Here I'm just making some mounting tabs so I can zip tie the shrouds together and sandwich the radiator in the middle. Hopefully it makes sense in the end. I'm kind of just improvising now. Before I move on, I'm also going to make the mounting tabs to actually bolt everything onto the stock mounting points that came with the radiator. So these actually worked out perfect. Instead of using a bolt and a nut on the other side, I figured I could just make the aluminum a little bit thicker to give me enough space to drill and tap some threads into there. That way it's easier to remove because it's bolting straight onto the shroud itself. I'm pretty happy with that. And with that, the shroud is pretty much done. All I had to do was trim those bolts down so that they wouldn't touch the radiator or poke any holes. I didn't record assembling it past this because I got too excited and I ended up just installing it in the car. Luckily, while doing a swap, I had to take it back out, so I'm cleaning it up just to show you guys what it looks like as a complete unit. I realized I never got any footage of it fully assembled. In my opinion, it looks really good, better than I expected it to be. Now, the million-dollar question, does it keep the car cooler? Yes, by a lot actually. As a matter of fact, if I override the second fan and turn it on, I'm able to bring the car out of operating temperature, making it too cold. And to bear in mind, I don't live in a cold climate. It's usually warm year around here. So by leaving the computer to control it, it's pretty much always going to be in operating temperature. One less thing to worry about, and now I can push it even harder with confidence. With that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Until next time, thanks for watching. For those of you that are still here, a little bonus clip where I ran a Supra, very short clip. And again, thank you guys for watching.